Hello. My name is Brian, and welcome to the Cat Golf Show. It has been some time since I last sat down here with my microphone to record an episode of this show for you guys. Life's been strange recently. So my mental health has been on a steady decline since I came back from the beach the other week, which I made a video about, and you will see. You'll probably, by the time this is out, you will have seen that. I am thinking that I still have not uploaded videos, but at this point, as of recording this episode, I've uploaded 2 of the episodes that I've recorded, and I have a backlog of like 6 left over. So by the time this is uploaded, you will see what I'm talking about. Yeah. But I came back from the beach with my family. Mental health has been on a steady decline since. Actually, the night I got home, the minute I walked through the door, my cat ran up to me and greeted me, and I was super happy, and I was super excited to see him again. And then immediately the loneliness and the depression set in again. Mini Zoloft update, I guess. I have been taking it. It's almost been a month now. I think if not a month, it has been a month now since I've started taking it. First 2 weeks, I want to say, were the strongest weeks. And now it's sort of like, I guess it's teetering out, or my body's like adjusted to it now. So it's like, my insomnia is horrible. It's definitely worse than my insomnia. My mood, though, overall, I would say has been more stable. So it's like, my lows are not as low as they used to be before. I definitely, for some reason, I don't know why, and this is stupid, my friend told me that this would not happen. I kind of expected it to almost make me numb to my sadness and sort of just erase the emotion altogether, which some people say is a side effect of Zoloft, that you kind of feel numb because of it. And thankfully, I've not had that happen. Like, I'm not emotionally numb. I do still feel emotions like happiness. I have been actually feeling decently happy since I started taking it. It's just these last 2 weeks have been really rough mentally and emotionally for me for whatever reason. But yeah, I don't feel numb. But the sadness is still there, and it's steadily since that 2-week mark has been coming back again. So I don't know if my dosage is still low, because I am only on 25 milligrams or whatever. So I have a doctor's appointment later this week to go over how it's been going for me. I'm definitely going to tell my doctor that my insomnia has been very bad, and I'm going to also mention like the fluctuations of my emotions. But that's not what I wanted to talk about today. What I wanted to talk about today was the notion that people who are quote unquote decentering dating are full of bullshit, and the people who are like, I'm happy being single, are full of shit. It's a common thing after a breakup, I feel like, for people to enter their single era or whatever. And I think it's like, the idea in and of itself is not necessarily a bad thing. When I broke up with my ex, I was like, I want to stay single for a little bit of time just to rediscover myself, because as I said in my video a while ago, your life revolves around that person. You adapt to their schedule becomes yours in a way, and you sort of like intermingle in ways that is very different than being alone. Now that I've been living alone for the past 5 months, and I've had to like readjust myself and my mental, it's all very different, and I know that it's very, very different. The other day I was watching, against my better judgment, a video of us together, and I just had like an out of body experience. It was like, shit, like, I used to live with this person used to be in my everyday life, and now I don't see them anymore, and now I don't talk to them anymore, and it hit me, and like, it hurt me. But yeah, that's besides the point. So yeah, a lot of people, they say, I want to stay single for a while, and I've sort of said that too, but now I'm getting back into it, as you know, if you've watched the first 2 episodes that I've uploaded at this point, that I have been on dating apps, and they're horrible, they're nightmarish, but I do have the desire to, despite saying, I want to stay single for a little bit, get back into another relationship, because I don't want to be single for too long. There's this guy I was talking to, he's my neighbor. This guy, I don't know why I said that. He's my neighbor. We talk every now and then. He's a cool guy. The only thing that struck me about him is he gave me a card to his church, like a business card. We started talking. His mom was going to get back surgery, and I like asked him about his mom, and he was like, oh, you remembered, like, that's really cool. And one Sunday I was going to do laundry at the laundromat, and he was going to church, I guess. I'm assuming that's where he was going. And he came up to my car and he was like, yo, what's up? And we started talking. He was like, you should come to my church. I want to invite you to my church. And I was like, yeah, I'm not religious. And he was like, oh, we don't discriminate. And I was like, okay. I was trying to put it delicately. I'm not religious by choice. It's like, I guess he interpreted that as me saying, I never like have thought about that. I'm not really interested in that, which is true, the second half of that. But I'm not religious by choice. So it's like, I didn't want to be like, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in that shit. I didn't want to be that rude to him, because he is a nice guy, and he is like asking, when he sees me, he asks like how I'm doing and stuff. He knows about the breakup and all that. I don't even remember where this story was going. Oh, it's just like about my neighbor. Yeah, he's a cool guy. We talked yesterday, and he has been single for 5 years. And when he told me that was when I was first out of this relationship that I was in January, and I was like, holy shit, I don't want to be single for 5 years, bro. That number is very scary. And of course, like, he's a religious guy, so I'm assuming he's not like hooking up and like seeing women. I'm assuming. But yeah, I was like, damn, 5 years. That's like, I can't imagine being single for that long. I mean, I was before I met my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend. But I'm like, no, I don't want to do that again. 5 years is way too much time for me to spend alone. Like, I'm just not having a good time with it, being by myself. Living alone with your cat is fun and all in theory. Not having to worry about anyone is fun and all in theory, but in practice, it's a whole different beast. In your single era, you're prioritizing yourself. You're going on single dates. That's a new thing, like going on solo dates or whatever with yourself. Dating yourself, like just going to the movies by yourself, or like doing activities that you would normally do with other people by yourself. And I'm like, bro, why? Human beings are a social species. We need human interaction. Sure, friendship, like platonic relationships, can fill that void of loneliness. And I have great friends. I will admit that. I hung out with my other friend recently. Him and his girlfriend just recently got an apartment, and we hung out. And it was fantastic. It was amazing. I had a great time. But that's not the same. It's not the same as being romantically entangled with someone. And of course, there's other aspects to that as well, such as sex, which I know can be casual now. I don't know that that's personally for me. I know that it works for some people, or maybe it doesn't work for some people. A lot of people that I've heard who have casual sex end up either wanting to date the person they're sleeping with, or do end up dating the person they're sleeping with. So someone catches feelings along the way, because it's just like, and this may be a topic for another video, sex is like the most intimate thing that human beings can do with each other. And I'm not necessarily opposed to like hookup culture, and that's such a taboo thing now in our generation, like among Gen Z, where, oh no, we don't want to do hookups, we're against that now. But it's like, the concept in theory, it's fine. Like, destigmatizing sex in the general public perception of it, I think that's a good thing, because I don't think it should be frowned upon. And that's like another reason why I don't like religion, because that stems from the general religion of society, especially in America, that it's like, oh, you shouldn't have sex until you're married, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So that in of itself is not a bad thing, but it's like the emotional weight of it. And, I may get clowned for feeling this way, but I feel like I just definitely would not be able to do that. Personally, I understand that some people can do it. Some people can separate the feelings from the act itself, and I thought that I could, and I don't know that I can. But yeah, going on solo dates, that's fine and dandy. I'm about to go on a solo date myself next month. The day after my birthday, actually, I'm going to a concert by myself, completely by myself, and I'm quite nervous for it. But I'm also quite excited because it's a band that I really like. But yeah, I guess that's a solo date. I was hoping that I would have an actual date to go with, but my therapist was like, yeah, you should go by yourself and just test it out, just see how you do. So I will be doing that. But it's like, the whole time I'm there, I'm going to be thinking, this would be a lot more fun if I had someone with me. This would be a lot better if I was with somebody. And I think that's true. So the people who decenter dating, and this is getting back on topic here, I think they're largely full of shit, because they jump at the opportunity to get into another relationship. Though the people who have the loudest voices in that are usually people who have been hurt in a relationship. You went through a tough breakup. Your ex cheated on you, which is valid. You can be very upset by that. And I definitely would be upset by that if that happened to me. It didn't. But I understand where you're coming from. You're coming from a hurt standpoint where your worldview sort of shifts. This person that you were super close to betrayed you in a way that is awful. It's a terrible thing to learn that your significant other has not been faithful to you. So you're sort of jaded. Your outlook on the world changes. You're like, okay, if this person did this, I should say gender neutral. If this person did this to me, then anyone can do this to me. This is the person that I was closest with in the world, besides my family, maybe, possibly. And they betrayed me in this way that's so monumental. Anyone can do this. So you're sort of jaded, and I've been there. Thankfully, my ex and I parted on good terms. So it's not, I didn't come out of that relationship feeling jaded. I did come out of it feeling frightful that I would get into another one, just because dating these days is fucking hell. Just for I feel like for everybody, especially among Gen Zers. And that can be attributed to any number of things. I don't want to necessarily cast blame on that. But it's like those people who say that, who come out of those relationships jaded, they're like, okay, I'm not going to get into another relationship. I'm going to stay single. I'm going to be super, super scrupulous on every person who approaches me. I'm not going to give them the time of day. I'm going to be hesitant to entertain anyone romantically. But it's like the minute you meet a person who is attractive, I'm assuming, who meets your standards probably, and who doesn't necessarily give you that energy that you got from your ex, you guarantee they're in their like swimwear, and they shove aside their principles of, I'm going to stay single, I'm rejecting dating for however long. It's kind of a bullshit thing. And I think decentering dating in and of itself, like I said, is not necessarily a bad thing. in practice, I feel like those people who employ that strategy are just jaded because they got out of a relationship that may have been toxic or may have been cheated on in, or a generally negative experience that led them there. It's not coming from a genuine place of, I want to learn more about myself and discover more about myself and better myself, I don't think. I think it's coming from a place of hurt. So you're sort of lashing out, like, I'm going to deprive the world, I'm going to deprive society of the beauty, the presence that is me. That is the gift that is me. So yeah, shorter episode today. I just kind of wanted to get on here, and I may or may not have said anything. I may or may not have added to the discourse. I just wanted to say that experiences recently have shown me people who say they want to be single and like focus on themselves are usually full of shit. It's just that they don't want to entertain the first person that comes into their life after having had a relationship that may have been rough or whatever. Maybe it wasn't even rough. The case that's inspired this episode is because of something like that. Very vague, I know. Everyone loves the vagaries that I espouse, but yeah, shortish episode today. I haven't been recording recently. Like I said, I don't actually remember if I mentioned this in the beginning of this episode. I've been in a downward spiral as of late, not recording mentally. My mental's been in the shitter, but I'm trying to get back on it now. I do, like I said, I have a backlog of episodes recorded, so it's nothing to worry about yet. I do still have like 6 episodes backed up to upload in succession. But yeah, life is continuing. We're almost in the month of June, my birth month. True. Which is cool. Great. That's another thing I want to talk about at some point. Birthdays just meaning nothing. When you get to a certain age, like I said, I'm going to be 25, and I literally have not cared about my birthday, I don't think, since I turned like 20. Birthdays do not mean anything to me anymore. I do not give a shit. As far as I'm concerned, it's like 1 year closer to death, which is a horrible attitude to have, I guess. But yeah, that's another topic for maybe for another episode. Thank you so much for watching the Cat Golf Show. I've been Brian. I appreciate the support on the first 2 episodes at this point that have been uploaded. By the time I upload this, though, there will probably be more views and more subscribers, hopefully, on the other videos that I've uploaded. But at this point in time, when I'm recording this, I've only uploaded 2 so far, but there will be more. Definitely stay tuned. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Ta-ta.